All right, folks. Up next, Dick Morris joins us. But first,
unlike anything you've ever gone through, to be the subject of tens of millions of dollars of untrue, terrible attacks. And now the Koch brothers say they're going to spend $750 million to defeat the Democratic nominee. I'm still standing, and I will be standing, so don't worry about that.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is Dick Morris, as promised, NewsmaxTV political analyst, presidential strategist, and best-selling author of Power Grab. Hello, Dick.
Good to be here with you, Steve.
Good to be here with you as well. All right, so let's start with Hillary. You wrote a great piece about no firewall for Clinton. Explain what you meant by that.
Well, a lot of people have said that Hillary might lose Iowa, where she tied, charitably. Might lose New Hampshire, where she is probably going to lose. But that she'll win South Carolina, a very heavy black population. About half of the Democratic primary vote is African American there. And then what's called the SEC primaries, the Southern state primaries that follow on March 1st. And the assumption is that large African American populations in those states will ensure that Hillary carries them, or at least does very well, and that fuels her momentum to the nomination. Now, one question is, does Hillary get the black vote? In the last national poll, Sanders was getting 27% of it, up from 20 the month before. So he might get a piece of it. But assuming he doesn't, the question is, will the black vote be decisive in the SEC primaries? So I went through the African American percentage of the Democratic primary vote in those 14 states that are going to vote on March 1st. And I found that in 3 of them, Georgia, Virginia, and Alabama, the African American vote was high enough, in the range of 40 to 50%, that it probably would control the outcome. That's about 300 delegates out of the roughly 1,100 chosen that day. But then there are some states where it will have an impact, but not a huge one. Texas with 250 delegates, Arkansas, and North Carolina. And in those states, there will be a significant impact, not North Carolina, Tennessee. The African American vote will assure that Hillary wins certain congressional districts that are highly black districts, but will probably not have an impact on the rest of the state or on the at-large delegates. And then half of the delegates come from states like Wyoming and Idaho and North Dakota, where there is no African American vote, or at least it's under 10%. So the idea that she can rely on these southern states to rebound against a Sanders victory, I think, is untrue, and hence the headline, "No Firewall."
Right.
Hillary.
And just breaking today, Dick, Ben Jealous, former head of the NAACP, endorsed Bernie Sanders. I wonder if he'll be able to pull a significant number of blacks along with him along the way.
Well, I think the case for income inequality that Sanders is making is so plain and so evident that I think it may have an impact on the African American vote. But I also think that Sanders is really now landing punches about Hillary's speaking fees. It's a pattern. She gets attacked, she lies, she gets caught in the lie, and it just keeps continuing. My wife finished a column today about her Wall Street lies.
Yeah.
When she said last night that Wall Street stopped giving me money, well, it turns out that she's gotten $30 million from Wall Street in this campaign.
What did you make yesterday when Anderson Cooper, sorry to interrupt. What did you make yesterday when Anderson Cooper followed up a question from an audience member and said, $600,000 plus from Goldman Sachs for speeches, why? And she said, well, that's what they offered. And then he said, yeah, but and she said other secretaries of state have gotten that. And then he said, yeah, but you're running for president. And she then said, well, I didn't know I was going to run for president. So you're telling me from the time she stopped being Secretary of State until she officially announced, she wants us to believe she didn't know she was going to run for president?
Well, there are a lot of lies in that. First of all, obviously, she did know she was going to run for president. Secondly, other secretaries of state have not gotten $250,000 of speaking fees per speech after they left the State Department on a sustained, ongoing basis. Thirdly, she said, And what have I done in return for that money? Name one instance of privilege to Wall Street.
Right.
Well, she opposes breaking up the big banks, which Sanders supports. She opposes reinstating the Glass-Steagall Act that says that federally insured deposits cannot be used for speculative purposes. She's against extending that. And she continues to take money from Wall Street. She said they'd cut her off, but they hadn't. So she keeps trying to lie, and each lie solves the immediate problem of the tax she just got, but sets up the next one that she will.
Dick, great talking to you, my friend. Thank you very much. We'll have you back real soon.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, Dick Morris, ladies and gentlemen. And up next, we're taking your calls. And if you want to talk to me on the show, it's 877-NEWSMAX, 877-639-7629.